Hey there, it's me, Nate Johnson.
And I'm Ashley Hurt.
And we're here to talk about the real estate market.
So Nate, how is the market?
Well, Ashley, I mean, you work with me every single day, right? So, the reality is that the market is very interesting right now. We're in a place where we've gotten past summer, we're sort of into the early fall, and we're starting to see a little bit more activity. Things slow down when the kids are going back to school, towards the end of summer and early fall, but then things start to come along a little bit. But we're in a really, really interesting spot because what we've seen is interest rates go down quite considerably. In fact, interest rates are over a point lower. They were on nearly 8% a year ago, and now they're in the in the low sixes. And I've talked to some lenders, and they've said even high fives in some case for a fixed rate mortgage. So that's phenomenal compared to where we were just a year ago.
So how does that factor into the time of year? Because we are going into the holidays.
When I'm talking with potential home sellers, there's a couple month window that I say that we can come to market, and this is one of them. When we're in October, when we're in November, really before we start to get into Thanksgiving, it's kind of when we need to start being concerned and start to consider, well, maybe we ought to wait till next year. The reality is that there are fewer homes on the market during those periods of time, so potential sellers have more of a captive audience with buyers who may be looking at that, looking during that period of time. So it's kind of an interesting thing though, because it's like, well, in the springtime there's more buyers, but there's also more sellers, so there's more competition. It's really interesting. And I've got to tell you, over the last 10 years or so, there's not been a such thing as a normal market here in St. Louis and really nationwide, because there has been such an inventory shortage that there have been buyers, constantly year round looking for opportunities to invest in home ownership. And so for the most part, there's not really a bad time to bring a home to market unless you're in the really the dead of the winter months where people may have a hard time getting out to even look at the homes. But in St. Louis, I'll tell you, our weather has been so mild over the last few years that it's really not been that much of a factor. So it's really very specific to what's going on in the market at that given moment in time. And right now, hey, everything's looking good.
Okay, so everything's looking good, rates are down, homes are still coming to market. Are we still seeing multiple offers? Are we still seeing buyers who want to buy but can't get into a home?
Yeah, we are. Certainly, depending on the neighborhood and the price point that the home is being offered at, that's going to sort of dictate whether or not we're going to see multiple offers. We are seeing multiple offers, but then we are also seeing the opposite of that, where homes that should sell right away or that we would expect would sell right away are taking just a little bit longer to sell. They're still getting good value, but it might just give the buyer an opportunity to breathe a little bit before having to make a decision. And in those cases, they're not in the multiple offer scenarios, which can cause some anxiety, quite frankly.
So last year we were seeing buyers having to give up most of their negotiation power when submitting offers on homes. Are we still seeing that?
Well, in some cases we're seeing that when we're looking at those multiple offer scenarios that are existing, but in a lot of cases that's not true. A buyer is actually able to, have inspections and negotiate repairs and even ask for closing costs in some cases we're seeing. Speaking of opportunities for buyers, tell us about this lovely home we're in today.
So we're sitting in 2718 Lemon Avenue, and we would love for people to come by. It's right down the block from Schlafly Bottle Works. So
yeah, this home is in Ellendale neighborhood of the city of St. Louis, which is just on the border of St. Louis City and Maplewood. It's a phenomenal location. As Ashley mentioned, it is right down the street from Schlafly Bottle Works. I was here just the other day, last weekend in fact, and walked over there. They were having a wonderful little outdoor makers market, which they have monthly during this time of year. And there's all types of events that are happening there.
So come and check it out.
Yeah, and if you've got any questions about the real estate market, if there's anything that we can do for you, just don't hesitate to let us know. We'd love to help you.